Alright guys, I just want to do another video about my day here. So it's going to tie into pro-life stuff. What do I have here? Oh, my son put this thing on me. He's always like sneaking around doing stuff like that to me. Anyways, it's fun to have boys, guys. It really is. It's a blast to have boys. I love having boys. I wish I had a girl. I thought I'd have a girl. I wanted more. My husband was like, nope, that's it. That's all I want. So I didn't notice at the time that he really didn't think of me enough with that. I mean, I went with what he wanted and I submitted to him, but I did not think enough about what I wanted. And I do wish I had said, I did say, well, you can have the vasectomy, I'm not. And I said, it's not going to be on me to not accept a child. So we could have had more. We could have definitely had more. I think now he probably just blows his money on a bunch of crap instead of a child. But anyways, let me tell you ladies, the whole abortion thing is a bunch of bull. Let me tell you that. So I was left, and I have forgiven my husband for this, but he left me with absolutely nothing. He left me on the street. I was talking to a guy at church, and he's like, shouldn't you have gotten something? You didn't even have legal counsel? The court didn't even give you legal counsel? And I'm like, nope, that court is awful crooked. They just said to me that my court papers were not written in pen, the pleadings, when they were. And he's like, you're kidding. I'm like, I can show you the papers. They're written in pen. I go, this court is crooked too. So anyways, moving on, my point is, like I was saying, you can have a negative view. In my other video, I was saying of life and put people down like they do. When I used to visit my husband's parents, we used to watch some TV, and I'd be like, why does Donna put these people down on TV all the time? Why does she put down the kids she babysits? I would ask my husband that. He's like, I don't know. That's just the way she is. So I'm like, that is kind of mean, right? She's kind of mean-spirited when she does that. So anyways, you can have two systems. You can have one where you want to fight with people, and that's what my husband has done. He wanted to nitpick about every little thing and try real hard to find something that he could find fault with me about, and he couldn't. So you can have that system where you're just arguing all the time and people are trying to nitpick and find things wrong. Or you can be like, you know what? I'm going to find things that I like about people. You know, this is what I like about my husband. This is what I loved about him. And so you've got two different systems. And just like in the world of abortion, you have two different systems. You have the mindset of I can't, or you have the mindset of I can. So my husband left me with absolutely nothing, ladies, and I also have carried a family while being left with negative zero. Negative zero. He left me with a car payment. He left me with a loan he didn't want to take care of. He left me with negative zero and his sons with nothing. So as I got on my feet, and I'll be okay now, I think this whole thing has passed with the financial hardship because I have prepared for the recession as much as I can. My bills are down. Work is coming in. Just got another job. I have like tons of jobs always around me, guys. And that's what you have to do in case one falls through. You have another plan. So my teaching has not been busy. I reached out to them and said, hey, want to give me some more hours? The holidays have been hard, but I have temp work. I have another temp job. I had the Chinese place that went bankrupt. I do plasma. I had just got a temp job, and then I have my cleaning business. So today, and this is what I mean, ladies, you can do this. So I went and had a meeting with someone, and I'm like, look, this is where my business has been. This is where I need help. Let's brainstorm some ideas. So that was really productive. And then I went to a meeting with AI, right? How is AI going to change things? What does my business need to look like in the future? Let me get ahead of this, right? So websites will be basically scrubbed or lost on the internet, and things will be made websites with AI. Very specific, right? So even if I was pregnant, guys, which I'm too old to be, but even if I was, I could have done all this stuff all day long. You just have to work all day. And when you have an abortion, what you're taking away from yourself is not just a child, but the skills to know how to make it in life. When I had 5 boys in a trailer, underfoot, homeschooling, I had to learn how to manage my time very well. And I had to budget very well, very carefully, because it was a very low income. So I chose this, guys. I chose it. I said, I am going to choose to be home with my husband and my family and put aside my career goals, right, in order to be a mom to my kids. I will take the bullet. I will sacrifice. And it was on purpose. And people are like, why are you living in a trailer? What's the matter with you? You know, why don't you have a house? Why are you, why are you living this way? Right? It was very minimalist, very frugal. I have been very minimalist for years. It's a lifestyle. Um, but I was materialistic when I was growing up a bit. You know, my dad was very minimalist. My mom and I, we used our time usually to save money. We spent time visiting people, and if you use your time for good things, usually you're not spending a lot of money. But at one point, I was used to having not the nicest clothes in school, but I had stuff, right? And that carried with me a little bit into my teen years. And it wasn't even major materialism now that I look back. It was just, I like to have certain clothes. I like to have, be in style with what was in style. That's nothing compared to like having a boat or, a house or whatever. So, probably worldly is more the better way to describe it than materialistic. You look back in 2020, it's, vision is always perfect, right? And you look back and you're like, actually, let me frame it this way because it wasn't quite that. So money has never really been a major issue for me as far as, having to have stuff. My husband or my ex-husband, a pack rat and has to have stuff. I have not been into stuff. So, long story short, ladies, getting up on your feet again, getting up on your feet repeatedly when one job falls and another job falls. Someone said to me tonight that someone lost work and they couldn't find work again. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That anybody can go to McDonald's. Anybody. So, so I took an AI class today, and then I met some people. I did some networking, handed out my business cards, and I actually worked on expanding my business now to commercial cleaning, and adding some other stuff to get more work. So I've got my umbrella a little bit bigger now. I have to make some calls to businesses to get some work sometime here. I am working tomorrow. But anyways, one of the things that you can do, ladies, and this is what's going on with me right now, is I'm putting more time and effort into my job skills, my college I started last night, my education, and I'm doing that, and I've cut back my hours because I can. So I have work, and I can grab as much work as I want, but my baseline is pretty part-time, my baseline. That is enough to pay my bills. As I get going with my business, I'm like, oh, okay, I can put this into savings. Get another job. I can put this into savings. Have another job. The ones that are not as stable, they can be like your, oh, I've got to, get this done or that done. But the baseline work, you want to keep it simple so that you're not overworking. You know what I'm saying? Have enough for your bills, have enough to put something away. But then after that, don't overwork because you're better off to invest in yourself. So, when you have time, yes, do more work. But when you don't have, time to get everything done, always put yourself first. Always put, well, I've got to get my sleep, I got to get my exercise, I got to get my education. That's important. But there's no reason why you can't get an education if you're pregnant. There's no reason why. If you have that small 9-month period after you're done, get your education. If you have 2 or 3 kids like I did, get your education with them and homeschool. If you have 5 kids as I did, get your education with your kids. Homeschooling is a great opportunity. When you have time when your kids are grown up, go to college. When you have time to, in between watching your kids like I did, I read. So you can be educated and have kids. So I just saw something. I saw a group that is really trying to prepare churches to embrace women so that when they go to church, they have everything they need to be moms. I am someone who now wants to not just, nobody brought church to me. I went to church. I seeked everything. And so now I want to take everything I have and I want to bring church, so to say, to people. A lot of times we go to a church and it's all about them. It's like, this is how we do this. This is how we do this. This is how we do this. And there's not much emphasis on you. What about your congregation? What about people who support you? What about, did you even get to know somebody who goes to your church? We need to bring church to the world, guys. And we need to bring good doctrine. We need to bring the emotional support to women, spiritual, emotional, the physical stuff to women, the educational stuff. We need to bring discipleship to the world. So one of the circles I have a lot of different circles, but one of them is getting in there and bringing discipleship to young girls. So that's what I'm looking to do. That's what a lot of my videos are about. It's about Christ. It's about salvation, but it's helping women to grow up like a straight arrow. Doesn't matter where you came from. I already talked about how I had a very good life. I had a lot of stuff in life, but I also did not know a lot about good teaching, a lot of good Christian teaching, because I wasn't a Christian. So I want to help other women to grow in Christ and to heal. And so today I was at another place, and this older man always prays for me, always. And he's like, "What's going on now with you, Melissa?" And I'm like, "Well, let me tell you the latest drama." And he's like, "Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness." I'm like, "Yeah, so this company went bankrupt and da 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 da." And he's like, "Lord, this gal shouldn't be going through so much." He goes, "Help her to get out of this position. Help her to be in a better place. Let this year be a better place for, a better year for her." And, God promises to lift us up, ladies, with his victorious hand. So there's a reason for everything we go through. And yes, I've been through a lot. In my networking today, I was just talking about just the job with this business going bankrupt on me. And this person's like, "Oh my goodness, that's a lot to go through." And I'm like, "You don't even know the half of it. You don't even know the half of my life. And you think that's a lot? That's not much for me to go through. That's like no big deal." It's not a big deal compared to all the jobs I've had. And ladies, have a lot of jobs, because when we hit a recession, which we will, you've got the skills to be able to make a recession. Cut back, be frugal, and then have all your skills. Keep on getting skills. Keep on working. Have a lot of jobs. I have an interview before a job tomorrow, and I've got to prepare for that and put in my experience, like at different, different things I've done. Not to get into that now, but different things I've done in order to prepare for this interview tomorrow. So ladies, work, 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 work. Yes, there are times you don't know this side of me. You don't really know this side of me. I have a silly side. I have a very calm, cool, collective side that I usually have. But then I have a hard-working side and a side that's really tough. And then I also have a very silly side. I was laughing the other day because I had this job that paid me on an app like a gift to fix my vehicle. And then they taxed me on $40 and I only made like 14. Well, I had gotten a text. I thought it was from the Chinese place that ripped me off, so I was ranting at them. I'm like, "Ian, you haven't finished paying me. And you promised me 40 hours and blah, blah, blah." It was this other company that I worked for, and she's like, "I think you're confused because there's no Ruth that works here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yes, it's you. You're the ones that took the taxes out of my $40 when you told me I would get $40. So I'm texting about this. And she goes, "We don't want you in a tight spot. Let me send you the difference. And do you want the difference?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So, I just ranted, guys, and stood up for myself big time. And I'm like, I got my money back. But I was like, I have had it with these stupid companies that don't run things right. So, there is a calm side to me. There's a funny side. There's a tough side. There's a hard-working side, a spiritual side. We are made more than just for men, ladies. We're not just a men's toy. We are made to be totally beautiful before God, guys. And that's what we want. We want to live before God. He is the one audience. He has made us in our mother's womb. He has made us for Him. And as you get older, you realize you want to be more invisible. I'm not talking about my social channel where I am here to minister, but I'm talking about in general. Like I was wearing a sweater today, right? And I had my hair in a bun. And I didn't really want anyone really looking at me or any attention. You know, I saw a girl walking tonight in the dark with very little on, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I would not do that, ladies, because it's easier for a guy to get the wrong idea, you know. And as I get older and we talk about modesty, we can talk about that another time. I used to be way out there with my clothes. I used to be, because I could. I mean, I had a beautiful body. When I was younger, I could wear anything. But as you get older, you just want time with God. You're just like, I just want to pull it in. I want time with God. I don't need the attention from the men. I don't need to be validated by them, you know. So this is kind of some stuff I'm sharing with everybody to help. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.